Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Shireen Kapoor. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer. I discuss points of law related to Canadian immigration in which you're not going to find usually on the net, and some things which are exclusively based on my experience in this field now since many years. And also I discuss a lot about legal aspects and legal topics, especially legal cases sometimes which are of relevance to the immigration topic. Today, one very such important topic that I'm going to discuss is about visitors in Canada and applying for a work permit. Now, there is a lot of notion around this concept, and a lot of people I think have said in the different YouTube vlogs or different platforms in which they are saying that ओ जी यू कम टू कैनेडा, यू आर अ विजिटर एंड कनाडा में आपका आराम से परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी या वर्क परमिट हो जाएगा, कोई टेंशन नहीं. Although I specifically disagree with this statement, and I say that you have a very big caveat and a red flag when somebody is telling you that something is too easy. When something is too easy, obviously there you should be alarmed, and there should be a situation in which your mind should be like, no, there is something to catch here. One such thing is that there is no concept of getting a work permit just because you are on a visitor status. You still have to go through an LMIA if you are going for a work permit. So I would say the red flag itself starts from the time when you are when people are telling you that okay, you can just come to Canada and you can get the work permit, or you can be on a visitor visa and you can get the work permit, although that's not the situation. So you have to be very careful of your particular situation. Specifically, if you're coming to Canada as a visitor, you are inside Canada as a visitor, then you know there is no such concept of getting a work permit just because you're a visitor. So you still have to go through the labor market impact assessment from your employer. If your employer is giving you a job offer, if somebody is offering you a job, then that has to be an LMI approved. Even if you're applying for an LMI exempted work permit, yet you have to take the LMI exemption. You have to fulfill the conditions of that particular program that you're applying under. For example, if you're applying even in Canada, you're applying under the C11 business work permit, then self-employed work permit as well, then you have to take the LMIA exemption. Now, when I say LMIA exemption or LMIA, does that mean that you can be outside Canada? Yeah, the status remains the same. Even if you are inside Canada as a visitor or you're outside Canada, the program, how you approach it remains the same. Only people from countries which are exempted from taking Canadian visa are allowed to go to the border, and that's also there are particular laws and situations of who can take a visitor visa on the port of entry, on flag polling. There are certain kinds of criteria for each situation. But as a visitor in Canada, it's not a cakewalk. You have to still comply with the law. Now, when you're a visitor in Canada, this policy came just because after COVID, a lot of people inside Canada were stuck. And now till the government has extended this policy till Feb 2025. So you still have about 1.5 years now. The second parameter to this whole situation is that when you're in Canada, what is the kind of criteria that you have to maintain? So first thing is you have to be on a status in visitor in Canada as per the program guidelines. You have to be in Canada on a maintained visitor status which is valid. Second is that you are not going to get open work permit. Please forget about this, that you're going to get open work permit. Not at all. Nobody in Canada gets open work permit unless you're a spouse of a person who's applying for a PGWP or employer specific work permit. Then you get an open work permit. Either you are a spouse or you are applying for an interim work permit based on the fact that your ITA has come and you are inside Canada and then you want to work, then you get open work permit. Only in certain situations you get open work permit, which is very less. This work permit that you have to apply as a visitor, it should be an employer specific work permit. The third point is that you have remained in Canada on a valid visitor visa or a work permit or whatever status, on a valid status, and you intend to remain in Canada while you have applied for the work permit or while you have extended your work permit or whatever the case may be, but you intend to stay inside Canada when you have applied for such work permit. And the fourth, obviously, is that you have submitted the application before February 28, 2025. So these are the certain conditions of that particular program delivery, of which the whole hype was created that come to Canada on a visitor visa and get work permit. No, So these are still certain guidelines. And when you say you have to apply for an employer specific work permit, of course, either you need an LMIA or you need an LMIA exemption number if you're applying for an LMIA exempted work permit under the International Mobility Program. There is also a certain tweak that you can do to fasten the process of your work permit application inside Canada, is that you can apply for you can raise a web form in IRCC with the barcode which I'm putting in the description box, and within 30 days your application will be processed of that particular work permit. Now, a lot of people here in Canada think that a lot of fraud is going on in terms of staying in Canada on a visitor visa and getting those work permits that people promise, and I feel bad then when people come and tell that they came and invested such an amount on just a visitor visa application and came to Canada. But guys, this is for you to be careful about that. You have to take care of the fact that you should not be fooled, because these information are available online, accessible as well. And then you should also be careful. You should always be on high alert in not just Canadian immigration. I tell people in terms of any legal dealing that you're doing, your caveat should be really high, and you should have the red flag button on. Look for the negatives before looking for the positives. And of course, if somebody is giving you 100% guarantee, that is also not something that you should be very candid about or very casual about. That is a red flag in itself. That if somebody is giving you 100% guarantee, believe you me, immigration law or any other result-oriented law will not give you 100% guarantee. You can take 90% guarantee. Okay, I always tell my clients that, okay, according to my experience, your particular situation, this can be a 90 to 95. But never I say 100%, because 100% it's not possible. So yeah, this is something that I wanted to share by my experience, because I heard a lot of people are getting defrauded by this visitor, come to Canada on a visitor and spending so much money on visitor visas itself just because they think they will get a work permit. So yeah, it's very important that you be careful, be cautious, be alert, but don't be fooled. Thank you for watching, and I'll make more such vlogs. You subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and yeah, thank you for watching.